The first hint of trouble arrived with the early morning sun. At the Buckthorn Veterinary Clinic, vet nurse Blythe was the only one on duty when she heard the whimpers of a dog in labor. The new arrival, a large stray hound, was terrified and exhausted. Blythe, with 15 years of experience, knew what to do. As she assisted with the delivery, she noticed something was off. The puppy's paws were unusually large, their coats coarse, and their cries were sharp, unlike any she'd heard before. The puppies kept coming, each one more puzzling than the last. As Blythe counted the tiny newborns, 10, 12, 14, a professional instinct screamed that something was very, very wrong. Finally, a 15th puppy was born, and the mother dog, whom Blythe named Marigold, collapsed from exhaustion. Blythe pulled off her gloves, running a hand through her hair. She had just delivered 15 puppies, but they were decidedly not normal. Blythe's professional instincts were confirmed by Dr. Pritchard, the clinic's veterinarian. After a quick examination, Dr. Pritchard's eyes widened. She bent close to Blythe, her voice a low whisper. "These aren't ordinary puppies," she said. "These are wild canid hybrids, wolf hybrids to be exact, and not just any crosses. These appear to be from very specific bloodlines." Before they could process this shocking news, a man named Jake Wilson, a foreman for a powerful local figure named Silas March, walked in. He demanded the dogs, claiming they were March's property. Blythe, her heart pounding, stood her ground. She pointed out faint surgical scars on Marigold, evidence of illegal procedures. When Wilson threatened them, warning that Silas March was not a man to be trifled with, Blythe held firm. "If Miss March wants to claim ownership," she said, "he can follow proper channels and provide documentation of legal breeding." Wilson left in a rage, but his final look at the puppies was cold and calculating. Blythe and Dr. Pritchard knew they had just made a powerful enemy, and that this was just the beginning. Narrator: that night, Blythe remained at the clinic, a sense of unease hanging in the air. The weight of Dr. Pritchard's warnings about Silas March's influence hung heavy in her mind. Then the clinic plunged into darkness. The backup generator failed, and the security alarm went off, its piercing wail a terrifying soundtrack to the distinct crackle of flames. Thick, acrid smoke began seeping under the door. This was no accident. Someone had planned this, disabling the safety systems and starting a fire designed to destroy everything inside, especially the puppies. Blythe's training kicked in. She had seconds to act. She quickly transferred the 15 puppies into a portable incubator she had prepared. With Marigold's leash in one hand and the incubator in the other, she navigated the dark, smoke-filled hallways. A loud explosion shook the building, and heat bloomed behind her. She ran, crashing through a storage room and bursting out the back exit, just as a wave of heat and fire erupted from the clinic behind them. She and Marigold tumbled into the rain-soaked night. They were safe, but the clinic was burning. All their careful documentation was gone. The only evidence left was right here, alive and breathing. The attackers had failed, and in their failure, they had created a powerful witness. The next morning, Blythe meets with Officer Rafe Ellsworth, a state wildlife officer. They are at a makeshift shelter with Marigold in the next morning, Blythe met with Wildlife Officer Rafe Ellsworth. He was the one person who might have answers. He carefully examined the puppies, his expression growing more serious with each one. He then delivered the devastating news. "These are red wolf hybrids." He explained that breeding them with domestic dogs is illegal under federal law. If genetic testing confirmed their status, the law required their destruction to protect the endangered pure bloodline. Blythe felt like she had been punched in the gut, but she refused to accept it. "They're just babies," she pleaded. She proposed a deal, 1 week to find proof of who was behind the illegal operation. If they could prove the puppies were evidence in a criminal case, they could be protected. Officer Ellsworth was hesitant, warning her of the danger. "I'm already in danger," Blythe countered, thinking of the fire. "Someone tried to kill me last night." Ellsworth agreed to expedite the testing, giving them a week to find the truth. Blythe knew she couldn't waste a minute. She called Officer Ellsworth and arranged a meeting. She arrived at a coffee shop on Main Street, determined to start the investigation. Rafe laid out the rules, warning her against reckless actions. "We do this by the book," he insisted. Just as he was about to begin, Pritchard burst through the door, clutching her tablet computer. She had found something disturbing. "I was reviewing the clinic supply orders this morning," she said, her voice shaking, "and there are dozens of purchases I never authorized." Bly leaned forward, her heart racing. Dr. Pritchard explained that someone had used her account credentials to order specialized drugs and medical equipment, things they would never use in a small-town vet clinic. The quantities were enormous. The pieces of the puzzle were finally coming together. It wasn't just an illegal breeding operation. It was something far more sinister and sophisticated, and the culprit was much closer than they ever imagined. The race was on, with a single week to find the proof they needed. Blythe, Pritchard, and Officer Ellsworth would have to work together to expose the truth, save the puppies, and bring down a criminal enterprise before the law forced their hand.